Welcome into Fishbowl Sports here on Facebook here. And I'm going to go join us live here on Instagram right here. So if you want a little behind the scenes of what's going on here, everything here with Fishbowl Sports Radio here. We're back on the diamond this week, Jalen, for some Louisiana Raging Cajun baseball here. Great to have that season back here. Softball got going this past weekend. And, we got all kind of other good stuff going on there. Um, and in addition to that, we also have Raging Cajun men's basketball. They're on a 4-game winning streak, so everything's going pretty well in Coach White's world. Coach Q, and Raging Cajun women's basketball picking up a win this past weekend as well. So everybody watching us on Facebook and Instagram, thank you for tuning in here live here to Fishbowl Sports here on this great Tuesday afternoon. Actually, technically evening.
No,
Technically, I'm gonna be more
evening,
specific about. You
if you
know,
didn't wake up in time, you could say afternoon.
yeah. So thank you, Jalen, for joining us here. How has been your day so far?
Hey, it's been good, Chief. And like you said, the Raging Cajun sports right now is they're thriving. Baseball and softball are back. I'm proud of men's basketball. And hey, you can't forget about women's basketball picking up their win the other night also.
Yeah, I mean it's always kind of good stuff to get going on there. So anyway, let's get back down to it here. Raging Cajun baseball here. So some interesting news that came out from Coach Deggs' press conference on Monday that he was talking. He referenced that Jose Torres, the starting catcher from last season and a couple of seasons with the Cajuns this year, is going to be out for at least 7 to 14 days here. So how you view about Torres being out? I mean, being out for the Cajuns and for like probably this opening weekend. Do you let him sit the 14 days, or do you try to get him back as quickly as possible in the lineup?
I think you got to get him back quickly as possible. He is the heart and soul of the team. We've seen him make magical plays in the last couple seasons he's been there, especially when they made their last Sun Belt tournament appearance. I think Deggs is knows that his team is going to be much better with him out there. And people talk about the questioning with pitching this season because Chase Morgan being out. I mean, you would rather have Jose Torres out there as a catcher than to have somebody else that has less experience when it comes to pitching this season. So I would definitely try to get Torres back quickly as possible, even if it is against Missouri State or even against Rice. It's further down the line and in the schedule. But you definitely got to get Torres back out there. He's definitely the MVP of this team.
Yeah, he's a pretty solid catcher for the Cajuns here. Threw a couple guys out that we've seen over the time there. So you got Chase Morgan out basically for extended period of time. They haven't really said anything mostly about like the season or whatever else here. J.R. Toilette is someone that they're really looking forward to this year on the mound for Raging Cajun baseball. So we're going to see how all that works here and see how well they do that kind of thing there. So I'm interested in seeing how well that actually goes there. So to kind of like put this in perspective here, um, what you think, Jalen? Deggs was high on Blaze Rodriguez as a freshman. He says his defensive skills are ahead of DeBarge when he was a freshman. So that's pretty good company to be in. So what you think about those
Yeah.
comments from Deggs? He seemed really big on the guy, on the freshman.
Listen, he's hyping his guy up. I mean, he might be a freshman, but Dig saw something in him. It is kind of like a huge compliment to be compared to the Barge, who remember he was Sunbelt Player of the Year. So that's some huge expectations. I don't think that Blazer there's no pressure with that. You're a freshman. You're trying to just do great things for this team. But hey, if Deg says that he can make plays, he gonna be able to make plays. So I can look forward to seeing it.
It's really hard. Like freshmen, they have to get adjusted to the speed of the collegiate
Yeah.
game because the game is faster than it is high school. So that's a big
Hmm.
step up for these guys here. And I did go to the scrimmage a little bit on Saturday during fan day because I was going to go to the basketball game. So I stopped in at the Teague and got a couple of things. The team looks like they were. I mean, they were being aggressive, like a Dex base coach baseball team is. They're just gonna be aggressive out there. So that was something to kind of see there. There was like some, rust, kind of thing going on there. Like I've seen a couple overthrown balls and stuff. So like fielding, I think is going to be kind of one of those things. We're just going to have to wait and see what's going to. So I have to see as the season goes along how well the fielding can hold up here. Like if the Cajuns, can pitch better than they did last year, I think they would actually end up being in a very good spot as a baseball team. I think if their pitching comes a long way from last season, which was really the detriment of the team last year to a fault there. So if they can end up doing that kind of thing there, I do think they will end up competing very well because the Sun Belt is very tough this year. It's a top four conference in baseball, in my opinion. Um, Probably even better than that, maybe the Big Ten, possibly. I mean, I'm not even afraid to say that live here on the air here, but it's going to be an interesting opening weekend because you got Mardi Gras. There's a lot of stuff going on. They did release like the parking um, plans, like how they kind of like see how everything there is. I just hope that this weekend isn't a complete like rain out basically on Saturday because Saturday looks like it's going to be a lot of rain coming through Acadiana. Bonaparte, the Bonaparte parade. I hate to say it, guys. I don't know if it's going to happen, honestly. Well, it's going to happen, but they might not be going on the street because it's going to be some severe weather. It's looking like on Saturday. So that's something that we're going to have to look at here and just see what happens here. Um, I wonder why my live video ended. That was crazy. Why did you end? So let me just try to pull this back up here real quick. So he did say, Deggs also did say that Sawyer Pruitt, um, and Deggs did go on to say about Torres dealing with a knee injury. He's been fitted for a knee brace, mentioned it as day to day. Sawyer Pruitt says he'd like to start him on Tuesday of next week. So I'm just going to hit this live again. I don't know what happened there. That was crazy here. So I'm gonna say my apologies to all the people on Instagram that was watching this and this went off here. Y'all join back in. I'm gonna give y'all a couple of seconds to kind of join back in and stuff. But uh, you know, Torres dealing with a knee brace here, which is gonna obviously affect his catching ability a little bit there. But 14 days looks like he's prognosed to be out there. So I think that's gonna be something to kind of see, and we'll just we'll monitor it as we go there. So
I think they're definitely trying to improve better than they did last year, record wise. I think when you got some guys coming back, and when you talk about like what Dex said, like with the freshmen, I mean, you putting, and it's not pressure. I think you just putting confidence, giving confidence to these guys to where, yeah, they can come out and play. I mean, out there, I think they're gonna be a better team.
yeah, I mean the Cajuns one thing they kind of keep an eye on here. So I mean, you know,
Yeah,
the team is they need to try to get back to. I did make a mistake when I did our season preview tags. Is I kind of like misplaced the years and stuff. So we'll see here. Let's talk about this though, Jalen. But also, I do think it is kind of cool to mention that we do have three of the schedules for men's basketball. You can, on your phone, you can literally scroll and look up our site here of all these schedules here because I thought baseball playing today. What time all that stuff's coming up here? So you want to keep it tuned in to us for the most up to date information out there here for not any day
any
anyway.
day. You can check that
So
website any
you
day.
know
That's what it is.
any day. Yeah, you can check your what that you can check
Yeah.
that website any day now. So Friday, February the 13th. Hopefully, this is not a bad luck day.
Oh, seriously. It's,
Friday the 13th. Yeah. So and then Valentine's Day, you got you and your lover, and you could, but I mean, it's probably gonna be a rain out, guys. I don't know if she's gonna be happy with you if it starts pouring out rain at the baseball stadium. You might have a long car ride back, to say the least. 1 o'clock against Missouri State as well. 3 game series there. And then to wrap up the midweek would be Rice, Tuesday, February 17th at 6:35. Jalen, how you predictions? What you think about Raging Cajun baseball in these first 4 games? How expectation? You think they're gonna go 2-2 with this, 3-1, 4-0, or
I don't want to put my
0-4?
expectations too high,
What you
Chief.
going with
I'm gonna
here?
say 2-2. It's beginning of the year. The team has already been dealing with some injuries. I think going 2-2 to start the year is not the worst case scenario. I think it's actually good for a team that's trying to get players back.
Yeah, I think that is a very good thing there. It'll be Missouri State. I think they'll
Yeah,
win that series. I think they'll go. I'll probably go
yeah.
2-3 just to be safe. Like, cause I don't like preseason, man. I hate it's all coach talk. The coach can say one thing and it might end up being a whole other thing at the end of the day there. So that is something we're gonna have to look at here whenever we get right down to it here. So with that being said, let's see, Rice. I think I'm gonna go 3-1. I think they'll end up beating Rice this year. I think that's gonna be something to go see here. But I am really interested in some data into it. So there's going to be or data or whatever you want to call it. There is not much into it there, so it's going to be interesting to say the It has the Cajuns at 33-23. Ninth, South Alabama's got them sweeping them. Houston has a loss. Texas State's got them dropping the series. They go 1 of 3. They got them sweeping them. McNeese got a win. James Madison has them winning 2 out of 3 there. So that's kind of interesting. Southern Miss has them dropping this. Troy has them dropping the series. They're 2 out of 3 as well. And Southern Miss is a home game. They're really good. That's what makes the Sun Belt so competitive. You got Coastal in there too, so that's gonna be Sunday of the year. Wish they got them getting swept by them, but Arkansas State got them getting sweeping Arkansas State. Grambling got them getting beat by the Cajuns. Southern's Georgia State. 2 out of 3 against South Iowa State. The Cajuns win. New Orleans has got a win. Coastal is a sweep against the Cajuns. So, granted, that is something to kind of look
Mhm.
at here with this group here. So we'll have to see how the ERAs are going to be this year. If the Cajuns can keep a 3 or lower ERA as a team, that is really tough to do. Very good. We pulled this up last week when I was talking about it with the stats and stuff. If you look at, I'm gonna go pull up the stats here while we're talking about it here. Compared the 2014 to the 2015 that we did last year, in last episode here, which you see some, stats and similarities of what's going on there. And I think it was I don't, but it was like every 5 runs, if the Cajuns got more than 5 runs, then they game, they ended up were like 18-5 or some crazy number like that here. So 2025 season here, real quick, so we can kind of like just see where the numbers lie because if they're in that regard. So they do have a new pitching coach. Jalen, do you think that will be an improvement, or you think they're gonna kind of sink a little bit further? He came in from Marshall, and I like Marshall.
I think it'll be an improvement. Like you said, I mean, Marshall was pitching, well, was pretty good. And then who knows? They could chase more back this season, but they do. I mean, the pitching is definitely going to be so much better.
So last year, Cajuns finished 27-31. If you're trying to keep track of that, 16-14 in conference play for the year. So with that being said, I'm waiting for this thing to pull up some more stuff here. Where's the bottom of this list here? Oh, it didn't. Okay, it wasn't computing there for a second. I guess it. So opponents last year were 260. So 300 hit 260. You're obviously doing better than your opponents and stuff. So not did give up for 52 of the team improve here. 15% there, they would do better. Like opponents did better. 7. He's right. Like if you can get high, it should be one to start the season here. Results here. Jalen, any words this past weekend?
Uh when you talk about this past weekend, I think it was great. I mean, for those girls to go 3-1, starting off. I think this season they're starting off to prove that they can hit the ball. I do think when it comes to pitching, though, they did give away some freebies in some games, even the ones they won. But overall, I think it was a great weekend for softball. I really do. They're starting off the season great.
Yeah, I think they're doing very good themselves there as well. So that is something that we're kind of like excited to see here is the pitching's got to get a little bit better. Compared to like because they gave up a lot of runs. They had some fielding mistakes in like the last game that they lost against Jacksonville State. And but I'll tell you this though, there is some very good things going along with this here because of the fact that if you look at it here, they got hitting, they got power, they got a lot more power than they
Hmm.
had last year. So that's gonna keep them in a lot of games here. I think even in the Sun Belt, I still think that this like I'm encouraged, very much so by what I'm seeing in regards to that there. So that is something to that we're like. I mean, you gotta be looking at and be like, okay, like I'm feeling really good about this kind of thing here. So that is something that I know I'm excited. I think this is thing because I think in that regard there. What you think, Jalen?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, like I said, I mean, I've been talking about it's the first weekend. She, the girls are out there pitching for the first time this season. I mean, you got to get the jiggers. Lord, listen to me, the jitters out. So I mean, so I think softball is going definitely going the right direction. Allison had a second.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think
Uh, I kind of backtrack like what I said earlier. I feel like that a lot of runs were, especially against Jacksonville, a lot of runs were didn't go in the Cajuns' favor. I think some of those were kind of just freebies. So, and with those hitters,
yep, that's something that we're gonna have to go look at here um, as it goes along the season here. But I mean, you look at the schedule here. They got Ole Miss coming to town. How you feel about that matchup for the Cajuns here? They got a lot of like, gonna be a lot of like folks coming uh, to land.
I think but I think they're doing this. It's great to do it at the beginning of the year and see what your team is made of. I think it's going to be tough against Ole Miss, but still, they being at Lansing, that kind of gives them an advantage. And then they go into it against Texas A&M Corpus Christi, which I think they should win that one. Then got to play Ole Miss again. I, I and then Texas. And that's like one, two.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think if you're kind of looking at this, if you can split that series against, if you can split that series against Ole Miss, you're looking really good for the weekend.
Yep.
They could split that series against Ole Miss, and if you can get out that weekend, this one loss, you're looking pretty dang good. So but yeah, let's look at this rest of this week here, and you got Ole Miss, Purdue, A&M, Texas A&M, Corpus Christi on that Sunday, Florida State at LSU. John. So if we get against Ole Miss, let's say you probably should take care of business. Let's say Friday, you got the threat of rain Saturday, so that Ole Miss game, the probably uh, the travel that the other teams have and their kind of schedule and stuff like that. So that's something that you're gonna have to look at and see there. But I do think that if they did, I think the Cajuns dropped one. I think they'll get one against Ole Miss. I think they got a good but it's gonna depend though. It's gonna depend on if they can
Hmm.
if the hitters are hitting the least amount of points they given up was they had a five. So I mean, what's going on? Hey, Crisco, how's it going? I'm gonna go respond to Crisco real quick here. YouTube stream went down for some reason. We'll have to look at it and see what's going on. We will be back live here again at 9 o'clock to talk about LSU. We're gonna do a little bit of late night Tiger sesh on here. So let's wonder if is it's saying that it just didn't go. Let's start the video from your stream itself before it go live. Let's see if that. I don't know if it did anything. No. Program, we're still kind of learning here a little bit. Give us time. So
Patience.
patience is a
Hmm.
virtue for sure here. And I just updated. It shouldn't even say tech because I definitely edited the thing. I'll just put Raging Cajun baseball opening weekend, I guess. Things crazy. Because I think tech didn't actually move into the conference. It wasn't like that. It was just like what
Hmm. Somewhere in the summer.
suits about that stuff now. Also, there's some kind of other like news to kind of like share with y'all. Going to
Oh,
be in the
I
Mountain
saw
West
that. I saw
Conference
that. Yeah,
coming up.
that's
So
gonna be interesting.
that's that's gonna be a very interesting thing to kind of like look at the table, dude. I'm kind of wondering how the transfer portal is gonna do once they get up to that level, though. Once they start getting those other big and looking toward North Dakota State as a you know yeah, that's just kind
If I'm the rest of those Mountain West teams, I'll be kind of scared right now.
of, I mean, they're pretty good, dude. Like they've been very good for they've been just solid, to say the least.
Hmm.
So looking back now, the softball schedule here. Let's go. Let me pull it back up again. A lot going on. A lot going on. So let's see. Oh, softball. I think uh, Purdue A&M probably win, Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, and Texas A&M Christi. I know you got the threat of rain, but we're gonna act like it's not gonna. will actually play, not postponed or anything. 41. Florida State's at
Yeah.
1, and that's on the road. I think the game. I just don't feel too good about looking at up until Tuesday. So that's really not a bad stretch, though, if you honestly look at it that way. Because if you're looking at it that way, and you're 3-1, and that 4-2 mark, you're looking at 7-3. That's a pretty powerful like games, basically. Those not mid major conferences and stuff. So that's something to kind of look forward there too. And I know we've been talking a good bit about softball, cleaning up some of that stuff there. That might be looking pretty good here. Making a week from like I predicted in the season expectation of that there. So anyway, Jalen, men's basketball. And remember what we said, basketball's a weird sport, and if you want to win their last six, their last loss was January 22nd to App State. So they're at 7 o'clock, and you got at Old Dominion on the Monday at 4 p.m. Um, it's looking good for the Cajuns, Jalen. What you think?
Yeah, Chief, I think it's looking great. I mean, we've talked about it with the men's basketball team. How yes, they got a lot of new players. Yes, Coach Q is in his first year as head coach, and we said if they start to figure it out, when we get closer to March, and they make some noise. I mean, the energy has changed over these last couple of games. I love what I'm seeing with the men's basketball team right now. And Coach Q, I think he tweaked his lineup.
I got you.
He's running
I
with
got
it.
you there. Yeah, like I think if they can get four, if they can really go on a run right now, and they're kind of at that perfect timing. If you're really going to look at it that way,
Hmm.
could very well be some really good stuff going along here. So I mean, that's something that we're gonna have to look at and see what's going on there. Um, I mean, it's just the way it is here. If any of that actually does anything different here, you know, we'll see. We will see.
Absolutely.
So, what you like right now, Jalen? Do you think this team can take down Troy? 'Cause the team to beat.
Troy is definitely the team to beat. I think I mean, if I'm speaking of as of right now on the pod, I don't see them getting past Troy right now. But they, like I said, more games to go, and anything that we've seen in years past. So I'm sure and they
How, like percentage wise, do you think that they would like win it, right? Like, do you think like if they got like how like if they can get a little bit better, do you think they'll win the
man, I
Sun Belt
say
Conference tournament?
if they just get a little bit better and keep doing like what they're doing, like they're doing this win streak, yes, they can win uh the tournament. percentage wise, right now, I'm not too high percentage right now, even with the win streak, because it's like I want to say 50%, because 50% of me is like, yes, they can do it. But the other 50%, I'm thinking about these other teams like Troy that's ahead of them. And it's like, you still got to beat all these other teams.
I think right now the Cajuns are within that top 3 or 4 discussion in the Sun Belt right now. I think they're playing one of the best. Like Sun Belt's like a very weak conference with a lot of like experience on their side. So I don't think the Cajuns are right there to take down Troy just yet.
Yeah.
They are. I mean, they are definitely getting close with it. I think it does say something about them. I think they are very capable of doing that kind of thing there, but they have to just get a little bit better here. If they can just, you know, that's just something they got to figure out here. I mean, they're not. There's times where they'll like bad passes and stuff, just like little tiny things that can really like affect your team, like turnover differential and stuff like that, can come and play and stuff. But they're not. They're getting better in all those aspects. Every aspect of the game they've been getting better. But I do think that is something that we're all going to have to look at here when we start getting down to closer to the end of this month here, where the Cajuns are going to be at, March Madness, all this good stuff here. So we're going to have to see how they're playing here, and if they peak at the perfect time, um, that's
I think the way the season is going on, I don't want to. It's like I agree with you, Chief. I mean, I just don't see how after this year, like he'll still be a coach. He's been a coach for so long. Unless this team magically wins the Sun Belt, there got to be like some changes going into the next season with the women's basketball program.
yeah, I can see that happening too. Well, hopefully they can get a good run and maybe try to compete very well in the Sun Belt Conference tournament. I don't think they're going to win it. There's going to be a realistic person here and just give it to you straight here, not try to sunshine pump anything. But we'll just see what happens when we get down to it here. I think
Hey, everyone, thank y'all for tuning in each and every week, as y'all do. To Fishbowl Sports, and hey, y'all keep tuning in. Basketball season still here. Baseball, softball's in effect. Y'all come to those games, come to Lansing, come to the T, and it's all gonna be great.
it's all going to be great here. Baseball season is here. It's going to be a fun one. We are Ron Guidry days away from first pitch of the 2026 Louisiana Raging Cajun baseball season here. You also stop by Lansing Park there too. So that's going to be something that we're all going to be excited to see here. I feel the Cajun. To Fishbowl Sports. Hope you have a great, wonderful day. And we're going to see y'all here next time here on Fishbowl Sports. Have a good night, Fishbowl Nation.